Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey. Welcome back to another episode of Coming to the Stage. As always, I'm so excited to have the opportunity to introduce you to another powerful woman with a powerful message and a powerful voice. I know that when you hear her speak, she is definitely going to inspire, encourage, and empower you forward. If you are new here to Coming to the Stage, hey sis, hey, I am Andromeda Raheem. I am the founder of She Wins Society, and you are here at Coming to the Stage. Hopefully, you will continue to join us every Wednesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube and Facebook, as we continue bringing to the stage women who are out here in the world making power moves. They are out here using their voices to uplift others. They are out here operating in their gifts, operating in their purpose, leading with vision, making a positive impact in the world. And so we want to provide a platform for you to hear from these women because what they have to say is important. And like I said earlier, it's going to inspire you, it's going to encourage you, and it's going to empower you forward. Our next guest is none other than Dr. Jasmine Escalera. Absolutely. She has earned her PhD from Yale, y'all, none other than Yale. And she is a certified career and life coach. She is also a TEDx speaker, and she's going to tell you more about that. She is out here being passionate about helping women to get into these high-level positions and to find their dream jobs and get into their dream jobs. And so we are going to talk to her today about leading with vision and purpose. She is speaking on the panel at the She Wins Conference and Awards on November 9th in Atlanta, Georgia. She's speaking on the Leading with Vision and Purpose panel. So none other than Jasmine Escalera is joining us on the stage right now, y'all.
Hello.
Welcome.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to be on the live stage in person, but I'll take the virtual for now.
Yes. So we are so excited to have you here because, as I said, you are that girl to me. Like, I'm just like, you have all these amazing accomplishments under your belt. And I think it's so awesome that you have went to school, you've gotten your education, and now you are out here in the world just serving other women and helping them to lead with vision and purpose. So for anybody who's not familiar with you, I would love for you to just share more about who Dr. Jasmine Escalera is.
Yes. So Dr. Jasmine Escalera is someone who only puts on a blazer now when she has to present herself in this fashion, because I live here on South Beach with my dog, mainly love just living a good sun-filled life. Right now, what I am doing is helping, as you mentioned, women really truly up level in their professional space. I help women kind of break down mindset barriers, limiting beliefs, so that they can really propel their careers and their lives forward. One of the things that I'm really passionate about is helping women to increase their earning potential, because I do feel as though we have the capacity to create this thing called generational wealth. And we do that primarily through either our businesses or our careers. So really being able to increase your visibility, increase your presence, dive into your brand, up-level your brand, and increase your earning potential has such transformative effects on how you can live your life and the legacy you can leave for those behind you. So that's what I love to focus on.
Yes. And I love that you mentioned brand. I think oftentimes when people hear the word brand, they only connect it to like if you have a business or if you're an entrepreneur, but you are also a brand when you are in the corporate world, when you are trying to level up in your career. So for anybody who's not familiar with ever viewing themselves as a brand, what does that mean?
Yeah, I love that you bring this up, because I do think that we traditionally have this mindset and mentality of, well, I have to be a professional in this space. And very often when I was growing up, I was told, you strip the personal off and you just step into the workplace, heads down, get the work done, collect your paper, right? Collect your paycheck. But now what we're really transitioning into is the understanding of personal branding and professional branding, and how you essentially can think of yourself as an actual product, and branding and positioning yourself as someone who can solve problems, really help organizations solve their core challenges, and then putting that out there in the world through your own individual thought leadership and your own take on things is essential now in terms of moving up and elevating in the professional space. We see this with job searching, where it's not just about, the flat white sheet of paper, aka the resume. It's about how you project yourself as a change maker within your field and your industry. So branding is coming much more to the forefront with social media, with personal branding, with LinkedIn now being the resource that it is. And it's a great way for professionals to capitalize on the question of, who am I? What problems do I solve? And what unique value do I provide to organizations? And how can I really be putting that out into the world?
Yes. Ooh, that's so good. And so you mentioned that you help, what you specifically work with women, right?
Women, yes.
Okay. So you help women to overcome these limiting beliefs. And so, with the She Wins Conference and Awards, we are definitely targeting women who are ambitious leaders, women who
Yes.
are out here in the world trying to, again, fulfill their purpose, trying to make a difference. What are some of the biggest limiting beliefs that you find that these women have when they are trying to rise higher in their careers?
Oh, well, one of them definitely taps into personal branding. I think as women, we are taught to be more demure, not as assertive. And we are often taught not to talk ourselves up, not to brag about ourselves. That is one of the most pivotal challenges that we as women face, because then what that means is we're relying solely on doing work instead of broadcasting that work. And part of leadership and stepping into leadership positions and really up leveling in your career is not just doing work, but owning the value of that contribution, so much so that you're talking about that contribution. So people understand what you bring to the table, and they will be more likely to help you advance, to help you get the promotions and the pay raises that you deserve. So I think the bragging mentality and that sort of don't be assertive mentality for women is one of the big ones. And, I see a lot with women, and I traditionally in my career coaching work with women of color. And I've noticed a lot that we are often taught to just be workhorses, to do the work, to put in the hours, to put in the time. We're not taught as much about the strategic aspects of up leveling and moving forward in your career, that it isn't just about doing work, but doing strategic work that aligns with the organizational goals and mission and values and helps them achieve certain end goals. When you're doing that strategic work, you might even actually be working less, but you're working in the way that you're aligning yourself to the organization. And that's a great way to increase your presence and visibility.
Yes, Jasmine. Okay, so as you were speaking, I could totally think back on a time in my life where what you just said totally applied. So I would remember coming straight out of college, getting into my field as an accountant, starting my first job in the state of Florida, and I went to work and I would do my work, right? I would get really great responses from my managers about how well I did my work. However, whenever it came time for promotions to happen, I always kept getting passed over. And I was trying to figure out, like, how this math is not mathing. How is it?
Exactly.
You're saying I'm doing a great job. I know I'm doing a great job, but I'm not getting promoted. And so I ended up having a conversation with my manager about it. And she basically told me that, it worked against me in a sense that I just came to work and did my work. Like, I would come to work, put my headphones on, I walk around the office with my headphones on, and I do my work, right? So I'm not networking with anybody. I'm not actually building relationships. And so it kind of gave them an impression that I didn't really like to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
So they wouldn't promote me to also the higher level positions required me to have more interaction with other people within the department and outside of the department. So if I'm not a person who likes to really communicate, I wasn't really a good candidate for that. And so you just made me think about that when you said being strategic in how you're working will actually help you to elevate quicker than just doing the work.
110%. It's so incredibly important for us to do that. And I think as as women, look, let's like put it into perspective here. The workplace was not built for women. It was certainly not built for women of color to succeed. It is incredibly challenging for us to do so. But if we understand that there are specific challenges that we have to overcome, then we can unite together and support one another to be able to overcome those barriers and challenges. And I think it's really essential. This is why I love what you're doing with She Wins Society, is bringing women together to really be able to support each other through these challenges. It's the same in the workplace. If we can come together and support one another, we can help each other up level. And I love being able to see amazing women coming together, amazing women of color coming together to give each other the advice and the tidbits. Because I did the exact same thing you did early in your career, and there was no one there to tell me, hey, Jasmine, you have to think about it in a different perspective. And so now that we have the opportunity to have these platforms, we have to scream it to the rooftop, right? We have to support everyone who's coming up so that they understand you're going to face challenges, but you can truly overcome those challenges. And here's some of the things to do.
Yes. I'm just thinking too, you just touched on the fact that, we have the opportunity to not only just share information with one another, but to also create space for one another to elevate. And so that is so important why we connect with one another and we build these relationships, because I can think about the very last job that I had working as an accountant. That's when I finally reached like that salary that I had in mind that, I've arrived. And I got that job because of a connection that I made with a woman earlier on in the first department. She was moving on to a higher level position. Her position was becoming open. She spoke to her manager about me, and they pretty much helped me to prepare for this interview. Like I was fully prepared for the interview before I went into it, even knew the questions that were going to be asked. And they helped me to get into that position. And I just thought that was so awesome. It was such a testament to, again, how much more powerful we are when we choose to work together.
Absolutely, 110%. It's just magnificent to be able to see. And for me, so much of the connections that I've made with other women, with other coaches, with other business owners has been able to support me, but also my clients. I love bringing together women and bringing women in the space to sort of talk about their own journeys. Another reason why I love She Wins Society. I love your newsletter. I'm always reading it so that I can read all the empowering stories.
Yeah. I love that. I'm glad to know that you're reading. So I have to ask you now, because I know people may have read your bio and was like, now, she went to school. She went to Yale. She got her doctorate degree in pharmacology. So how do we transition now into being a certified career and life coach? Where did that come from, Dr. Jasmine?
That's a great question. I asked myself that question many times. But I mean, for me, I had my PhD in pharmacology, neuropharmacology. I got my bachelor's in biochemistry. And I don't want to date myself, but I came up in a time in the STEM field where there were barely any women. We talk a lot about people of color in STEM, challenges that we're facing, but representation didn't really exist when I was in the science field. So I faced a tremendous amount of challenges being the only in every single space, the only woman of color. And what that did to my confidence and what that did to my sense of self was really make me feel as though, even though I had all of these degrees and accomplishments, I was never going to be enough. And so I had a lot of challenges in my career that I had to face. I fought a lot for the things that I deserved and somehow still got the stiff hand. And I thought I was alone. And when I finally opened up and started talking about the challenges that I was facing, I recognized that women in all fields were facing the exact same challenges. And so I was able to really build a really awesome career in leadership and management. So I just started out first, not even necessarily coaching, just helping and supporting and asking women, like, are you going through this? Like, here's some of the things that I tried. And eventually I don't know, when you just get the calling in your soul, like I'm sure that She Wins Society has also come from that internal calling of like, this is it. I just followed that, and it led me so naturally to supporting women in their career. And now I do that more holistically in terms of, their lives and reinventing their lives and changing and transforming to become the best representation of themselves. So it really stemmed a lot from my own journey and my own hardships in this in this space that I think a lot of women are still facing today. And I started in STEM, over 20 years ago. And so it's still a repetitive thing, but I do truly believe that with more education, with more discussion, with more support, we're really transforming the industries and we're transforming the career space.
Yes. Well, definitely I want to give you a kudos to you for, being a trailblazer in a lot of ways. Being the only person or minority in any space, it is very difficult.
It
But the
is.
fact that you did continue on and your representation still mattered, right? There's somebody right now who is in that space who is benefiting from the fact that you took that path. You may not see it, you may not know it, but that is actually a reality. So congratulations to you for just, again, being that trailblazer.
Thank
And
you.
talking about leading with vision and purpose, I mean, I don't think that anything else defines that, right? Like, you
Yeah.
decided that even though you went to school for these things and even though you endured these hardships to get to these places, you decided ultimately, like, this is not for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all, I always think about the universe, God, whomever you believe in and hold faith in. I truly believe that they always like have your best interests in heart. And so, even though I'm not in neuropharmacology and I'm not in the pharmacology space, those lessons that I learned have really helped me to understand the biology, the neuroscience behind spirituality and behind the mindset work that I teach my clients today. So I sometimes call myself a spiritual neuroscientist because I'm incredibly spiritual. I do believe in the higher power, the higher being. And I tell myself that the reason why I can believe so much and have so much faith is because I understand that there really is a scientific backing to all of this. And so I love to use that in my coaching. And so I do believe that everything always kind of comes full circle, even though when I first started my coaching practice, I was like, what in the hell? I did all this dang school, not doing nothing now with it. It's all come full circle.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to share this with one of my members and very good friends. She is a nurse anesthetist
Yeah.
right now. And she's getting ready to move into life coaching full time and speaking
Oh,
and hosting workshops. And so that's like a
yeah.
huge transition for her, right? But I know she's gonna like love to hear your story because again, she went through a great deal of schooling. She's worked in this field for
Yeah.
quite a long time. She's making really good money, doing what she's doing.
Oh,
But
I was too. In the first few years of my business, I was like, why did I ever?
right. Exactly. And you definitely have those moments where you're like, okay. But I
Yeah.
do agree that it is full circle because even when I look at myself right now as being a full-time entrepreneur for the last 10 years, like I went to school and got my accounting degree, but I can see why that experience, like you said, how it played a part in my life
Yeah.
today. Even just being
Yeah.
able to budget through those difficult seasons in my business, right? Being able to
Yeah.
know how to move money in a way to sustain my business is very valuable for me to have. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely, I believe, I always say God wastes nothing. And I just think that everything has a purpose for sure. Now,
Mm-hmm.
do you ever have women who come to you for coaching like they are maybe at a place where they're stuck in their career, they want to elevate, and then they just have this aha moment that like, actually, I don't want to do this anymore?
Oh gosh, yeah, that happens all the time. Oh, 110%. I'm a firm believer in that the vast majority of us kind of fall into careers because we're not taught how to self-reflect. We're not taught how to listen to internal voice. We're not taught how to, take in experiences and ask ourselves even, do I like this or do I not like this? When it comes to life experiences, we're not taught those pivotal things, right? So we often fall into careers because we're good at something or someone tells us we're good at something, and so we follow that. And through life and through gaining life knowledge, we start to realize, like, wait a second, I need to really look a little bit more within. I need to do these assessments. Really need to understand myself in order for me to select something that I can spend the next 40 years of my life doing. So it happens very often that people kind of do something and then realize this isn't it. And I think honestly, that's the purpose of life, right? I think life is about taking in experiences, understanding what you want, what you don't want, what you like, what you don't like, and pivoting. The
Mhm.
problem is that we often think of careers as linear linear. I have to be in this career and I have this step and this step and this step. So it can be very scary when we start to kind of sway. But it does happen a lot. And for me, it's all about the internal reflection. It starts with that. What do you enjoy? What are you passionate about? What could you be doing each and every day? What haven't you enjoyed in your career? And almost kind of coming up with an ideal day in the life from both a job perspective, but also from a company perspective. We have to also understand that fulfillment comes from doing the things we enjoy and doing what we're good at, but also being in the spaces that allow us to really represent ourselves in the way that we want to, that authentic self, that confident self. So we have to really put both things into play when we're thinking about our careers. But yes, I work with a lot of women who are transitioning, and it's always the story of, I guess I just thought I was good at this, and I thought I would like it. But when we're looking down the barrel of 40 years of a career, you really gotta start doing some assessing.
Yeah. I think that society, just in the way that it's set up, it really doesn't even give you time to really think about like who you are and what you want to do. Because I know for me, it was like, okay, you go to high school, you finish high school, and the next step is to go into college. And I spent 6 years getting my 4-year bachelor degree because of the fact that I had no idea what I was there for, right? I'm trying to determine a major, and I could not figure it out. I honestly settled on accounting because my sister had got her degree in accounting, not because I had any passion for that, but because I was like, I've been here now. I have to leave here with a degree. I'm not leaving here without a degree, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But we are just on the hamster wheel, and based off of your specific life circumstances, what is going on around you, I want to make sure that I give so much love to people who just really are having a hard time getting off the hamster wheel for a moment, taking a breath, and then doing those assessments. That's challenging. But even just giving a few moments every single day for yourself can really be some of the most transformative things you can provide. You have to give that time to yourself. It's so important that we don't get to the age of 60, 70 years old, and we have not yet tried to live life in the way we truly want to.
Mm-hmm. And it's so easy to happen.
It's so
easy.
I mean, I'm 42 and I'm like, what happened?
Exactly. Exactly. Where did the time go? You're right. I have so many friends. I have family members that that's just life. Like they just follow one step after the other. Then it's like, now you've purchased a house. Now you have bills. Now you have a debt. Now you have student loans. So now you have to work to pay all these things off. And so then again, like you said, you never have that time to really stop and say, do I even want to do this?
Yeah.
You don't. Yeah. And like you mentioned, so the scary part, because you mentioned that sometimes it's scary. You've been working this job for 10 years or 20 years. You've committed so much of your life to this. This is the only life that you pretty much know at this point. And now to say, I'm going to shake things up. What advice do you have for somebody who's just feeling like, I need a change. This is not it. I've stepped into this thing. I've been doing it so long. But I realize now that this is not going to fulfill me. It's never going to fulfill me. Doesn't matter how much money they pay me. I'm never going to be fulfilled. I'm never going to be happy doing this. But they're just too afraid to move out of what is familiar. What advice do you have for them?
Yeah. So I think of it as self, community, action. So what I really like to tell clients is self-reflection first. So really starting with those internal questions of, okay, if this isn't it, what could it be? What do I enjoy? What am I passionate about? What do I like? What kinds of environments do I need to be in to be my successful self? What life do I have right now? And how does that need to translate in terms of my career? Sometimes we separate our career from our lives when we really need to be interlocking them, and allowing for ourselves to think about what stage of life am I in, and what career do I need to have to translate to that. And then I think of it from the next step, which is community. So once you understand and this isn't it, and you've started to come across some ideas, the best thing to do is to break now out of your own head and really start leaning into support from others, start networking, start having conversations with people who have the potential types of roles you're looking to have. ask those questions, do that research, and then that helps you build the network. But it also gives you that kind of information as to, am I on the right trail? What do I need to pivot? What do I need to change? So then it's breaking out of your shell and really going into the community. And then it's about action, right? You have to start taking baby steps. Now, fear is real, right? But fear is also just a biological mechanism. It's not ever going to go away. So do it scared really is the truth. You have to do it even with a little bit of fear, because the fear is never going to go away. It's biological. But what could you do that pushes the envelope a little bit so that you're showing yourself you can step out of your comfort zone, but that still feels like something that you're capable of doing or trying? So it's about taking those initial steps. So I always think of it as self-reflection, community, and then you've got to start taking action. Because once you start putting yourself out there, you start learning, you start to get invigorated, you start to get hyped. Like, how many times have we had an idea and we're like, oh, I'm going to get that book, I'm going to find that person. You get hyped. And then once you start to take the steps, the action steps, you start to realize, like, wait a second, this is actually possible for me. Like, it's when we stay in our bubble, we don't see people who have done the things that we want to do. We don't get the information, that we really let the fear overcome the possibility. And what we want to do is activate so that we increase the possibility, we see that possibility, and then we truly are doing it scared.
So good. Yeah, I agree. The fear never goes away. I mean, I think that you get, what you do is you probably gain more confidence, right? Like, okay, I've done this before and I can do it again, but that comes from the doing.
Yeah, you have to do. You have to do, because in building confidence, it's all about taking action and then collecting receipts. You have to collect the evidence that, okay, I've done this and something happens, something good comes out of it. So it's really about that nice kind of interplay between action and evidence, and that will help you to build that confidence.
Yes. So good. And so you touched on a little bit about how, your transition from working in STEM and in the different fields that you worked into moving into your own business. At first, that was looking a little shaky, right? How do people overcome even those obstacles, right? Like, where it's like, okay, I was making six figures, or I was making, this high level amount of money. Now I'm trying to lead with vision and purpose. I'm trying to go thing that I'm passionate about. And it's, are we back? I think we're back. Can you hear me?
I think we're back. Yeah.
Can you hear me, Jasmine? Okay.
Yes, I can.
But it's not paying you. It's not paying you the same amount of money. What advice do you have for somebody where they feel like, okay, the money is not the same. The math is not mathing.
The math is not mathing. Yeah. People might not like my answer, but it really does come from the heart. I think that when you are starting a business, when you're going into entrepreneurship, you have to pick something that you love. You have to pick something that you're passionate about. You have to pick something that if you got on your soapbox, you could talk about it all day long. Because in the moments when the math was not mathing, what really got me by was, I just freaking love this. There's no way this can't work because I love it so much. I think it has to be that passion that leads you. I think it's also passion and your why. So Simon Sinek talks about the why a lot, and I truly believe that. And I believe that your why can't just be about you. Like, your why can be about you, but when you make it bigger than you, when you make it about your family, when you make it about breaking generational curses, when you make it about really being able to leave a legacy for your children, when you make it about the impact that you're going to have in your community, those are the things that hold you and really help you move forward. I didn't become as spiritual as I am until I stepped into entrepreneurship, because I had to have so much faith. It's like, I tell people a lot that, like, there's so many moments where I am literally delusional. where I am telling myself that I'm a millionaire, even though my bank account sure as hell doesn't say that. You have to almost kind of have this unwavering faith where it just feels like you're sort of kind of like delusional, but
Yeah.
that's the path to making it happen, right? We talk a lot about manifestation and, creating the life that you want. There is this interim period where your belief is so high, but the outside is not really changed. It catches up, but
Yeah.
you got to have that just unwavering belief in yourself and in something outside of yourself sometimes too.
Yeah. Oh, that is so true. So true. I always say nothing tests your faith like entrepreneurship. Nothing.
Hell no. Nothing tests your faith, and nothing tests your ability to heal. I have undergone so much healing. What people don't get is that, when you get a paycheck every 2 weeks, there is safety and security. What
Yeah.
triggers healing is pulling back that safety and security and being strong enough in your resolve to say, I may not be safe and secure. I might be triggered, but this is where the work is going to happen. That's like a whole nother level of transformation. And that's what I learned through entrepreneurship, was that even when things are crumbling outside of me, to like hold on to myself, because this is where the real work is going to happen.
Now that's good. That is really good. I had not even thought about it like that, but that is so true. Absolutely. Like I've discovered a whole new version of myself through this process that I don't think I would have found without it. Like you said, that safety and security and that paycheck changes when that paycheck is not guaranteed every 2 weeks.
It does. And, when people unfortunately lose their jobs, that is the point at which a very similar thing happens, because you're in this triggered state. And it's like, how are you now going to act? How are you now going to react? Are you going to come from that triggered place, or are you going to heal and come from the place of, I deserve the best, I deserve more, I'm going to get it? So there's a lot of transformation that comes there. I mean, I feel as though for me, and I'm sure you and all of the other women that are going to be on the amazing panels are going to say the same thing. Like, this is the best journey that I could have ever gone on in my life. Like, there's nothing better than this. And it's still, wild and rocky sometimes, but it is truly the best journey. I know that if I had stayed in my career, I would never have had the opportunity to heal so much of what I've been able to heal and become a better woman, a better person, a better partner, a better sister, a better daughter. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I totally, totally, totally agree. And I say, like, as women, like, even though we dread it most of the time, like the challenges, the obstacles, like when we are backed up against a corner, though, that's when you really find out like how creative you are. You get to really find out like what's in you, because when you are safe, when you're not experiencing those struggles and difficulties, that stuff lays dormant, right? You don't get to find out like how strong you really, really are. And so, yeah, I wouldn't change anything about my journey.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, Jasmine. So this is the last question I have for you. I ask all of the guests this. It's very clear and obvious that you are bringing so much to the table at the She Wins Conference and Awards. I cannot wait for what you're going to share on the Leading with Vision and Purpose panel, for you to just be in the space with all the women with your positive energy. However, what is it that you are hoping to gain from attending the She Wins Conference and Awards?
Oh my goodness. I am so excited to meet all of the women. I'm so excited to meet you in person. I'm so excited to meet the other women. I think that when you are and this is why I tell people to attend things like this, and I'm so blessed to be able to be on the panel with the other amazing ladies, but it's so important that you invest in yourself and get in rooms like this, because there literally is science to the fact that when you are in a space with everybody thinking the same way, in terms of thinking about success, thinking about up-leveling, thinking about transformation, you inevitably will leave that space biologically different. Like, it isn't just a mind thing. Like, your body transforms because you are taking in that collective energy. And so I just cannot wait to be in that space, because I know that when I walk out of that room, I'm going to be different than when I walked into it, biologically, mentally, spiritually. So I'm just really looking forward to meeting everyone, to being in the energy, to being in the collective, and to just taking that all in, knowing that I will just transform. And I'm all about transformation. So I'm really excited to be in the space.
Yes. And I just want to say, like, I totally believe that all of the women who are coming, I'm just like, it's an iron sharpens iron vibe. And so even just sitting here, spending time with you and speaking with you, like, I love the way that you speak, by the way. Like, I think that you are a very great speaker. You're so articulate. And I'm just like, even listening to you speak, like, I don't know, psychologically, I just feel like you're helping me be a better speaker, just listening to you speak.
It's happening. It's
working. It is. I'm just like totally I'm absorbing it. Like, I like the way she speaks. I'm going to practice speaking even more articulate the way that you do. I love it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that we can support each other through that. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Okay, so this live is going to live on our Facebook page and our YouTube page forever and ever. So for anybody who is watching live now or who may come across this at some point in the future, please let them know how they can connect with you.
Oh my goodness, I be on the LinkedIn streets all day, every day. I love being on the platform. So you can find me there at Jasmine Escalera, PhD. I'm also on Instagram at Jasmine Escalera Coaching. You can reach me there. I just started the first and only free online community for women looking to reinvent their personal or professional lives. So if you hit me up in one of those platforms, I'd be happy to share the link for you to join us. We run challenges, we have Q&A discussions, there's mentorship, all with the idea that if we are in the same space with women who want to transform their lives, we will feel inspired to do the same. So please definitely let me know. It's called The Courage Crew.
Yes. Oh, I love that. That's exciting. That's really
exciting.
Okay.
I'm trying to follow in your footsteps.
Girl, you got it. You're on a roll. Trust me. And I love that you said the first, because it just, again, it speaks to who you are. You've been trailblazing all these years of your life, and here you are still trailblazing. Go ahead, Dr.
I like it. I
love it. All right, y'all. So y'all heard it here. Make sure that you do follow Jasmine Escalera Coaching on Instagram. Hit her up on LinkedIn, as she said. Find out about her new community. Also, make sure that you visit JasmineEscaleraCoaching.com. Is that right?
JasmineEscalera.com, yeah.
JasmineEscalera.com. All right, y'all. And then also, if you are interested in meeting this beautiful woman in person, hearing what she has to say on our Leading with Vision and Purpose panel in person, and being in the space, like she said, with other women who are going to be uplifting and encouraging and helping you to transform into your best self, iron sharpens irons, y'all. Iron sharpens iron, y'all. So make sure that you visit SheWinsSociety.com for tickets and information about the She Wins Conference and Awards, which is happening on November 9th, 2024 in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you so much again for your time today, Jasmine. I truly do appreciate you, and I cannot wait to see you next month.
I know, it's coming up so fast. I can't wait to see you and all the other ladies. And yeah, I can't wait to see everyone who's in attendance. So get those tickets.
Yes. All right, y'all. So until next time, y'all keep growing, keep glowing, and keep on winning. And we look forward to seeing you this Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook and YouTube. Bye.